as you all know, our mind is both conscious and subconscious mind. Conscious mind, the power is 10%, and subconscious mind, it is 90%. So if I want to develop any new trait, both my minds I should activate, work together. Which means, say for example, I'll take the example of self-esteem. Consciously also I should be aware that I'm working on my self-esteem. So whenever I get a chance, maybe I get a chance to speak, I get up and I try that way also. And secondly, when it comes to subconscious, I need to write in a certain way. And when I say I need to write in a certain way, it is not like I write one day or 2 days and then just forget about it. Graphotherapy, it's like something like brushing your teeth. Just because I have brushed for 20, 30, 40 years of my life doesn't mean, I do not need to, continue the brushing every day, right? So same thing when it comes to it, both consciously and subconsciously, plus the consistency is a key.
Thank you very much. And I would like to raise for them, Ms. Lina, what are your thoughts on how AI is reshaping the Asian landscape today?
AI is shaping anything and everything at the moment, not just HR, but in any industry, in every country, not so much in other, well, I know that in Germany they are very reluctant about using those kind of technologies, and I was very reluctant, to be honest, because I wasn't sure, what's all the data, where is it coming from, where is it going, and I still have, I don't share private information of clients or whatever. I'm very careful within HR, but it's making life a lot easier for, especially within work, analysis, reporting, benchmarking for me, it's really, really crucial, looking at, what kind of benefits employees are getting, not just here in the UAE, but global, so I can compare when somebody's coming from outside and say, look, I've been on this, but what can I get? I think from that side, AI is enhancing our way of life. It will shape future workforce, absolutely, but we also have to be very careful that we do not rely on it and that we don't lose our own minds and our knowledge, that we are still giving our own knowledge back and not just relying on computers. And I see it with kids nowadays not even knowing how to write anymore. My niece, she can't even put a sentence together. Oh, can I put it on the iPad, or can I do it on the iPad? And that's very, very sad. But unfortunately, we live in a technology age. Gosh, difficult word. But yes, we just have to teach our kids not to rely on it too heavily. So yes, it is, AI is going crazy.
Most between good and the bad things.
Yes, it's both good and it's not so good, but yes.
So we have one gentleman joining for the panel session. So Mr. Pradeep,
yes,
the owner of the college of Purest Old Matter. Sorry, my
no worries. No worries. It's a tongue twister.
The young dynamic entrepreneur from the India, and then the famous vegetarian restaurant, so wonderful at the Old Matter. So this is what we link with for the credit score and My Health. So we would like to add also the how we were having for the My Health food, because food makes us for the happiness of everyone.
You see.
So I would like to raise one question. How do you see the connection between the plant-based eating, the mental well-being? So please answer.
Sorry, I'm the odd man out here. Literally as well, I'm the odd man. So, what's the purest form of love? It's a love for food, right?
Yes, of course.
Because once you're full, you really enjoy your heart's content. When you have your heart's content, that's what.
Unless you are on diet,
I'm not going to talk to you. So a lot of these, to be very honest, I also wondered about what is the topic here and how I can relate to from being a restaurateur. So what I realized is, if you go back in history and then say, you are what you eat, right? It's come in many Sanskrit scripts and everywhere saying, it actually affects your mind. And have you ever realized when you sit to eat, all your 5 senses are at work? Because the first time when you hear the food, your ears hear it, The next time you see it being presented, your eyes feast on it already, and you started salivating. Internally, the mind starts telling you, you start salivating, you smell the food, then the digestive juices start producing, and then you put your mouth, you start touching with your fingers. That's why in olden days they used to say, eat with your hand, because then you know it's hot, cold, how's the food, and so I don't know how many people are drooling already, but yeah, so that's the way it is. I mean, you eat with your senses, and that affects your mind. I mean, the way, even nowadays, you're going one step ahead to say the person who's cooking also must be in a state of mind in such a way that if it's happiness that he wants to spread, cook happily, so that's what goes into the food, and people, when they enjoy it, they absorb that energy. I mean, a lot of things about quantum physics now starts proving these theories. It is happening. Plant-based food and others. So I was surprised, I must put this way. I spent a lot of time, so most of my career, for 25 years, I've spent in the corporate world. Okay, then I took this plunge into being a restaurateur because I am a foodie. Don't look at my size, but yeah, I used to love and eat a lot. Normally when people, when they say from the restaurant field, they look like, they're supposed to be well fed. So what happened was, I spent a lot of time going through Ayurvedic college. I spent some time, months there, trying to understand what kind of food. And I always had the notion that Ayurveda means it's all about to do with plant-based. Okay, and that myth was broken when I heard that in Ayurveda, even non-veg is supposed to be something which is of that. Okay, very, very interesting. So then I said, okay, what will be a perfect meal for a person? If I were to serve you a perfect meal, which is good for your health and others, how could it be? So when I started delving deep into it, I realized it's very difficult. I mean, it's like studying medicine science itself again. So each person comes up with a certain constitution, body constitution, and a particular time of the day, your body constitution changes, and the place where you are makes a change. Where you come from, what kind of food you had also makes a difference. Now, all of a sudden I change all of this and suddenly give a pizza in front of you, which you've never had before. So obviously your body is going to react differently. But as you will also vouch for it, our body is a beautiful mechanism. It's got its own mechanism. It adjusts itself every time. So one food at a time, doesn't matter, your body will adjust. You can eat something really bad. That's the cheat day for you. When you're on a diet, you can go on a cheat day, but you still be fine. Okay, you're not going to hurt yourself. Okay, plant-based diet, yes. I mean, people are moving towards for many reasons, because one of the reasons, I mean, look, I'm not here to debate I'm not going to convert everyone to be a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. My wife is not. I tried. You see, I can't win that war, so I can never win any more battles. So it's about saying that in a plant-based food, how our gut system is, how our teeth system, how we are, masticating the food, how we eat, vis-a-vis if you are a meat eater. Now then somebody questions, no, but I cook my food, so is there a problem, So that's why I don't want to delve into that game, but you can eat the food, but whatever you eat, not many people are going to like when I say this, eat like medicine. Okay, food is supposed to be eaten like medicine. I know I'm between you and the lunch there, but just bear with me. If you eat like medicine, everything is going to be healthy. So every time when we overeat, that is when we have problems. So anything in moderation is always good, right? Try to be in that equilibrium. That's what I can say. So plant-based or not, I'm not going to advocate, but a lot of things are happening because they say that our body is not designed for it, but be that as it may, I'll leave it open for everyone to decide what they want, what their body feels, because your body gives you all those signs whenever you feel like whatever you're having, it's accepting, not accepting. So accordingly, you make those changes.
Totally agree. I have a lot of allergies and I have to cook everything from scratch. Exactly. If I go to a restaurant, I have to ask the chef what's in your, what's in there.
Yeah.
And I've tried everything. For me, food is medicine. 100%. I know exactly what I can and can't eat. And if I have a cheat day, I suffer. But for me, cooking is really going into myself and really going through the day, and because HR is very, very demanding and sometimes very negative, can be positive, but very negative. And for me, cooking is very therapeutic. I can put all my energy then in creating foods and writing them down and everything. So food is not just keeping you alive, but it's also keeping your mental health intact, and you can really think about, and if you're just sitting there and gulping it down, you're not enjoying it.
Correct.
So really
Correct.
think about what you're eating and how you're eating it. That will affect your whole body as well.
When we talk about the food, it's a lot of things to talk.
A lot to
But
talk about.
Before not going to the lunch, so we will go back to the how often for this. I will raise for the question to Ms. Nicoletta. How often should people check their credit score? It's important also because before we buy the food or before we do the something, we need to check the balance of the thing. So can you answer for me?
Yes, was actually one slide over there. I would recommend once a year. Of course, you should check your credit report and score if you plan to apply for a new credit card, for a personal loan or for a mortgage, even before reaching out to the bank, just to make sure that whatever is available there, it's as for the reality, that it's correct, it's in line, it's updated. Even if you don't plan, and I took my mortgage back in 2017, so since then I didn't took any additional credit, I still check it once a year. And this year I downloaded in March, preparing myself for this session. I did saw that there was an improvement from 799 to 809. Lately, the credit bureau, if you once acquire the credit score and the credit report, they are lately sending an SMS to say your credit score improved. Click here. You will have to pay, of course. It's a not free of charge service. But they actually, let you know, and that's part of the educational aspect of it, that you pull your credit report and you see that it's improving, and again, you can use this in so many ways. If you rent a house and there is, the landlord market over here, right? They have 10 choices in front of them, and a way to make the landlord comfortable that you are the right tenant would be literally bringing him the credit score. And there are, again, a lot of scenarios where you can use the credit score. In HR, I'm sure Lina will confirm, most of the companies today are pulling the credit report and the credit score. It's a must check. So especially if you work for a financial institution or you work for the central bank, for any government, federal entity in the country, they will check your score before hiring you. And if you don't meet the minimum acceptable score from their side, you will not get the job. And it's nothing to have with your skills. It's literally your payment behavior.
So you're forced to take a credit card and then show a better credit score. It's an interesting game that people are playing. So you did mention that for a credit score for you to change, so it takes at least 2 years. Again, you got to be on the good books.
If you have a bad history, like the gentleman Mansour, I think he left, that he had the incident with the bounce check that was wrongly bounce check, but he didn't prove the other way. So until you don't prove the other way, you're guilty, as they say in the court, right? So for 2 years, that information will be available in the credit report. Mainly all the information in the credit report have 24 visibility, 24 months visibility. So they go back 24 months from the day it's pulled. And if that check, was bounced within these 24 months in the history, will be displayed. In most of the cases, the score will be very, very low. Depends on the amount and some other, variables. But yes, I get your point. You're saying you need a credit card because all the payments in this country are done through credit cards. They actually, give you discounts, you get points. From fraud perspective, it's much better to use your credit card rather than your debit card. Don't put your debit card details in any website, online shopping, and so on. So yes, you need to take the credit card, but then you need to make sure that the usage is in the correct way, give and receive aspect to it.
So, do we get a benefit if you keep your credit score high all the time? So you get more discounts? Just checking.
Yeah.
We always out for discount.
That would be nice, wouldn't
Always
it?
out for discount.
Well, the credit card business, I don't think they went yet in that space. But what I can tell you that definitely next time you need a credit, a personal loan, car loan, whatever will be, your interest rate is defined by your score.
That's
so it's an indirect benefit, but to get the benefit you need to work for it. So it's not immediate.
I understand. A long way to go.
In the UK, if you actually need to have more credit cards to have a high score.
Oh.
I had a really high score. I had 5 credit cards and they loved me. I could get credit everywhere. My husband had 0, he could get nothing. So in the UK, it's very, very different.
Yes.
And, you know, and it's very scary because you get bombarded with credit card offers. Your credit just went up and up and up and up. At some point, I was like £25,000 for a credit card. And I was like, you know, and the credit, of course, the APRs are very high. And then you are stuck paying off that APR. So for young kids and stuff like that, it's very difficult. And it was, you know, you're like, oh, wow, I can buy lots of stuff now. But yeah, that's how it is in the UK. And it's very scary. Very scary. It's very different.
Thank you so much for the answer, Ms. Nicoletta. And I would like to raise for the answer to the Ms. Roshni. Why is the subconscious mind so powerful in shaping our belief, habit, and the daily life?
Because as I said, you know, subconscious mind is 90% powerful. So whatever you say, you know, say for example, I get up and say I am successful, I am kind, I am loving, I am rich, or you know, I am abundant, and all those things, you know, it picks up quickly. Maybe sometimes, you know, it is not once or twice you say, but you know, the moment you say it with consistency, it believes, your subconscious mind believes, yes, this is what I am. So, you know, I want to be abundant, rich, successful, every day, say these words. Initially, maybe you have to fake it until you make it, but then, yes, very soon the results will be seen.
So I think on the subconscious mind, it's also true because these are like your regular ones that you, for example, you've been driving this road for like donkey's years. And then now, after about 5-6 years, you don't have to really think about this turn or anything. Automatically, your hand starts going there. That's how your subconscious mind works. And that's the belief that you have. So in order to do that also, they say if you can add that, whatever you're writing with an emotion, you know, with an emotion added to it, energy in motion. So add that, it works even faster and better.
Thank you very much. And then as we discussed about the panel discussion, we were having for this credit score, mind health, and HR. So I would like to raise the questions to Ms. Lina. Because today we talk about most of the AI, so just a good benefit of the AI, how is AI helping HR support employee well-being or mental health in modern workplace?
Look, I mean, AI is ever present, and in any business, in everything. To be honest, I'm still very wary about it, but yes, it can, within the well-being space, and it can do a lot of things. You know, it can create, you can talk to it, you can create daily habits with it, you can have all sorts of things with it, you know, proper discussions nowadays. It can create a whole life for you, workout, whatever, workout regime, yes, what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat, and all of this, you know, so it will influence people because people are no longer going to be talking to people, going out, and going to the gym maybe or whatever. Yes, it will influence people, but you know, if you're using it right, I think AI can be a powerful tool, and it can help you with your productivity, with your daily life. So definitely, it is there to stay, and it will improve life. Definitely, yes. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's almost it's our own completely answer because I am in the insurance expert industry currently because we create one of the application like a 360 app. It's kind of this you know, people who buy the product not only buying the insurance. This is giving the, you know, special for that. So AI can link because
absolutely
that app can be checking for the how is your mental feeling, how like your exercise is going, how's your, so that can be linked for the things here.
No, absolutely. It can help an employee, absolutely. Because if you have systems like that, and we used to have systems like that in the UK through our HR systems, and we had a well-being space. It wasn't AI driven. We had, actual suppliers sitting behind it who were offering their services. But now, of course, it's all AI. So the AI can actually teach you things and do things and recommend things as well. So for employees in that space, it will help definitely, and also make decisions on insurance and in the insurance industry and things like that. So yes, it will be a good part of having that in a company.
Not only like insurance or health, and also for the food, because like AI link, how many calorie on the food, how many carbohydrate you can balance to having for that. So I will raise for the one last question from my side for Mr. Pradeep,
Yes.
one gentleman in the panel discussion. So are there specific ingredient or meals on your menu? Because as a vegetarian restaurant, so how support better like a brain and the mental support for that menu? You have any specific? So please answer.
We don't do keto diets or any. We don't suggest. We want people to eat fair and well. Okay. So honestly, I mean, I've got requests. You're 100% right. I've got people who come and then they're vegan. So then we have to try and tame them or look at those ingredients that can go, which doesn't, have any milk or cheese or any of those products. We do that. But having said that, as long as it's personal, and I always say taste is very personal. The food that I like, you might never like because you don't like that taste, But I would always suggest whoever is going to come eat your one meal, just make sure that you enjoy it. Anything that you enjoy and you do, it sticks. It gives you the benefits. Don't sulk.
True.
Don't sulk. Enjoy your food. Enjoy and eat them, and that's what it's going to be. So, yeah, I don't know if you've heard this saying. They say that feed the cold and starve the fever. Have you heard that? It's a saying. I mean, old saying where my mom do that. So what happens is your body is like a RAM, in the computer RAM that works. You got 100% of the resources that you use on the RAM. So suddenly you open a very complex application and then it uses most of the resources. Similarly, our body works like that. So suppose when you're having fever, what are you supposed to have? So if you eat more food, now what happens is part of your body says, go and treat that fever. So it's trying to work around. It's asking the blood vessels to pump in more blood. Your heart is pumping more blood so that it can cool the system. And on top of that, now you go and eat more food. Food is supposed to be fire, right? It burns. Now it has to send some resources to burn that food as well. Now, so your healing process is not happening on one side, whereas because you're having food on the other side. So that's why I say you starve the fever. And when it is cold, it's the other way around. You need the heat, you eat so that it produces the heat. Funny, I mean, all these works very well in symphony. It's a symphony. That's why I say you enjoy your food. Don't think about, oh shit, I had this extra meal. Oh, what is going to do? Don't think about it. Rather, enjoy the meal so that you have a heart's content, and that's the purest form of love. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if anyone would like to raise the question.
My question is to Nicoletta. What I have seen here in Dubai is that people have multiple credit cards. The reason being one card is giving you points in certain hotels of points, others for flying, and various other benefits. So they have those multiple cards, and whereas you suggested that better to have one. And that part two of the question is, as I am a parenting coach and I talk to teenagers, they feel that having more is, flaunting what they have. So, what would you guide on that?
Yeah, so I start answering by a question. How many benefits of the multiple credit cards do you think people are actually using?
They are actually, I don't fall in that category, but they'll be like, okay, this is points we collected and we got an air ticket free.
Yeah.
These points we collected from a particular credit card and we, purchased something.
Yes, but this type of people are 2% out of the mass, because one gentleman here was saying, I don't have a credit card because I'm afraid I will even miss the payment date. To do what you're saying,
That's
it
me.
means that the person has to have an Excel file be very much organized, going back to the letters, and making sure that
My keys
each
were
and
back.
every credit card is used for that specific benefit and purpose. I guarantee to you that in Dubai the people are so busy that they might do it for a couple of months and then they will still use more or less 1-2 credit card even they have 5. And personally to me, I actually don't even have a credit card myself. I'm just using the supplementary card from my husband. And
Well done.
No
when
wonder
the
our
banks
score is
are-
high.
When the banks are calling me to get a credit card, and because I have that high score and because I used to work for the credit bureau, I would be the perfect customer for each and every bank. My answer back is what is actually the benefit that I get from that credit card. Yes, I do fly, but honestly, personally, I fly once or twice a year, okay? I'm not flying every week. And if you are flying every week, it's a corporate business card and your company pays for it. So you get no much benefit out of it, net of the miles that, yes, you might use from their company, but it's not the credit card itself. And it goes down to that more or less recurrent, to be honest, benefits. Yes, access to lounge. Each and every credit card has lounge access. Yes, you get a ticket, but what I'm trying to say is that the benefit that you will get immediate will be actually against you long term. That teenagers that now it's 16 or 18 years old doesn't yet think that when he will be 30, he will need a mortgage. And that's where we have to work even with the young generation to make them understand. Someone in the presentation said you earn and then you invest and then you save and then you spend, right? And these days the young generation, they earn and they spend and then they think to investment and saving. So it's really just teaching them that this is not the right way. When I was right after I delivered, was right after pandemic and the banking was a little bit shaking, many people were leaving, so the banks were really trying to get to the customers, they be a good customer for them. And each and every bank was calling me, I was like, what type of benefits you give me? Lounge access, where I'm not even traveling because I have so small kids, I'm not gonna go with twins on a flight, right? And I was like, why you don't give me as a benefit discount in, I still remember, First Cry was the application I was ordering Pampers. Unfortunately, though we are speaking about artificial intelligence, where this artificial intelligence will do a lot of good for the banks to analyze the transactions and see that actually I'm always going to this restaurant. Then give me 1% discount in that restaurant. No bank is doing that yet. Maybe will come. At my time, I was just asking if you give me 3% discount in this application because I'm ordering double Pampers, twins, I will get your credit card. So again, the benefits are there, but for me are really very generic. And again, my husband has 2 credit cards. One is just kept for petrol because, right, they give you the benefit on the petrol. How many times you think we can really use that card? We always forget it home. And then it's one card for both of us. So you're on the road, you need to put the petrol, you will not say, oh, let me go home to get the credit card and then I put the petrol. So, it's just the flash of, you have the information with you that you get benefits, but at the end of the day, either you don't use the benefits or you forget to use them. And again, the long-term benefit is actually not having all that many credit cards.
I know one of my friends who swaps between, he lives between these credit cards. In the sense, he takes a 35,000, let's say, limit, okay? And then the bank gives you an option to convert into a 12 months without interest EMI. So he takes that, he pays for the other credit card. And then from there, he keeps on rotating. So there is a rotational sum of 35,000 between these credit cards.
He
So,
needs an Excel file to make sure that it's on point.
So,
But
so,
most
but
of the people don't have time to do that, especially if they have a job, full-time job. You understand? He does that because he has a challenge, he has a pain, and
only if he's doing that he will cure himself. That's the medicine for the pain, right? And again, yes, there are scenarios where you can, work around, but are not for everyone and are not easy.
Now, what I meant to ask was, so when you do those times where the bank says you can transfer your things from one card to another, right? I mean, you pay for one card, so the other credit card person says, you know what, you want to transfer this loan here, you want to transfer this credit here. And the banks do that. You can bring that. So when you do that, is his credit score affected, or because he's paying it off from another bank, it's not showing?
No, each bank is seen as an individual institution, and they do for their own self the good. So if you pay me ADCB from MasterCard, credit card, 30,000, I don't care, I get my 10,000, that's my objective. And Marsha was like, until you pay me that 30,000 in 3 installments in time, I also don't care.
So it gives you
And it's about really doing the payment in time.
Okay.
However, I guarantee to you that if he's applying for a mortgage, he will definitely not get the lowest interest rate in the market for a mortgage, because he is seen as a high risk profile.
Correct. Got you.
Thank you so much for our panel discussion attending, and thank you very much for the question and answering for the. So thank you very much, Ms. Nicoletta, strong credit score and a better opportunity to the topic, and also the Ms. Roshni, empower your subconscious mind, and then Ms. Lina for Asia role in the new work, and then Mr. Pradip. Thank you very much for this sharing about the food and then some of the description from the college private alt matter vegetarian restaurant. So I'm definitely also joining there to come to taste your restaurant as well.
I just want to say something. So you don't need a credit card if you want to come and take discounts. Okay, just go and say my name, you'll get a discount. Okay?
Oh, you heard it here first.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.